So we have Maya joining us today. Maya, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Maya Stinson. I'm gonna turn 11 in 3 days, and I go as she, her, and my favorite color is periwinkle.
Before we talk politics, because we all are gonna get deep into the politics. I want each of you to tell me one word, not like one word, just one word. Maya, would you like to start us off?
Yeah. Pride.
Okay, that's a great word. Sky.
Sunny.
Mine is potato. No, I'm just kidding. My word is joyful. So now I'm gonna go back in that same order, but we're gonna go into more depth into explaining the word we chose. Maya, can you explain the word, why you chose that word?
So pride. So I used to go to a camp, and some of the people weren't accepting, so I don't go there anymore. I'm going to this new camp that accepts all, like, anybody, if they have like two moms or they're LGBTQ or anything, they accept them. And their main word they always talk about is pride, and I just love that word. That's why I chose that.
That's great. Sky, can you explain your word more?
Well, the word doesn't really have a very deep explanation. I just chose it because it's sunny outside right now, so.
It's joyful because I'm happy to be with my girlfriends.
Love.
Okay, now we're gonna switch gears to politics. This article recently came out in USA Today. 2022 could be the most anti-trans legislative year in history. Report says transgender Americans could face a historic year of legislation that will further erode their rights. As advocates brace for roughly 280 proposals in state houses across the country aimed at some of the most vulnerable members of the LGBTQ community. And I also keep up with Chase Strangio, Twitter, because he keeps a pinned tweet with bills and action items as 2022 sessions progress. Here's what he has so far. Today is January 23rd. Arizona has pre-filed a bill to ban healthcare for trans minors, with additional provinces to require disclosure by school staff to a parent or guardian of any child exploring their gender. Arizona also has a bill that would ban trans girls from sports. At all levels of competition, Alabama has once again filled its felony ban on healthcare for trans minors. The bill also requires school staff to disclose to parents or guardian any child who's exploring their gender. South Dakota, seemingly returning to 2016, has a bill that would ban trans students from restrooms and locker rooms, gives student private right of action to sue if encountered trans student in restroom or locker room.
Horrible.
That is horrible. That is absolutely horrible.
Yeah, South Dakota also has a ban on trans girls participating in sports. Both of South Dakota's bills seemingly have SB 8 styled enforcement, where main penalty is a lawsuit by aggrieved students who suffer the injury of encountering a trans person in a single space or activity. In a single sex space or activity. Because South Dakota is always doing the most, another trans bill dropped today, also categorically barring trans women and girls from all sports, including club and intramural. intramural, intramural. Just cut that. Kentucky, Kentucky also introduced a bill banning trans youth from sports through college. Alaska has a bill banning trans women and girls from sports. In a pandemic with a huge strain on school resources, states are choosing to open the doors to lawsuits against schools against schools where people believe someone of the wrong sex is playing sport. Hold on, before we continue, do I look like I am the wrong gender? Honey, no.
Not one bit.
No, never. I am completely a girl, and you can't tell me no. I'm completely a girl. You can't tell me anything else.
Exactly.
Florida has introduced a bill that, among other things, prohibits encouraging discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity in primary school or in age-appropriate ways, undefined. Okay. So that is all across the U.S. In Texas, the law banning trans kids from playing in sports went into effect last week. Sky is going to go into a little bit more about her state of Arizona today.
So I'm not quite updated today on the bills, but I am pretty sure that tomorrow there is going to be another hearing of SB 1165, which is the bill which would ban transgender people from playing sports, which is just downright disgusting. And yeah, that's all I know at the moment. But it's crazy how fast it's spreading like a wildfire, honestly.
Wildfire in 100-mile wind.
Yeah.
100 miles per hour.
So Maya, I would like to hear more about your experience being transgender in your state and what it was like testifying. So I have some questions for you.
Okay, so I started testifying when I was in 2017 when I was like a really little kid, and I didn't really I testified, but I didn't really say like any. I said like, let me be a girl, let me go in the women's restroom. That's all I really said. And when these bills started getting worse in 2021, I think, I started testifying like actually professionally, and the first time I don't remember the first time I testified this year, but I think it was like around February. I don't know, but yeah, that was I started testifying when I was a little kid, and I've gotten better, and my parents have taught me how to speak better and how to not stutter as much, and yeah.
Are you ready for the next question, Maya?
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, how was it testifying? Did you feel, were you anxious? Were you tired? How was your experience?
So when I first testified, I was really scared, and I didn't tell anybody. I had not told anybody yet. But when I said to my mom I wanted to go to the restroom, I had an anxiety attack because of that, and I went to the restroom and I started crying, and I looked in the mirror and I said, why are you doing this to me? And I did that for like 10 minutes, and I came back and I put a smile on, and I got on stage and I just told them. I got really scared, and so basically for a few months after that, I was kind of depressed, and I had a lot of anxiety attacks because of this bills, and it completely affected my life for a few months until they didn't pass. But when one of the bills passed, I freaked out and I started crying, and I went and talked to my mom for like a few hours. I just tried to sleep, and I just couldn't sleep, and I just was really sad that month because when the bills passed.
So sorry you had to go through that. It sounds so traumatizing, and it's just horrible that at such a young age we have to go through this, and it really shows how harmful and detrimental these bills are to us.
Try not to ruin my makeup. That made me so sad. Mom's over there like crying.
My mom's crying too behind the screen.
My best not to cry. I don't want to ruin my makeup.
You're not even wearing makeup.
I am. I'm wearing lipstick and what's eyeliner? The fuck?
Mascara.
Mascara.
You were mascara? I only put lipstick on, but now it's gone. Whatever. I should do it.
Y'all.
Maya, are you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how did you feel when you heard that lawmakers were trying to dehumanize and invalidate you? And how did that affect you?
So when I first heard, my mom came in my room and she said there's bad news, and she told me, and I was crying for a long time, and that affected me, and that made me have, when the bills first when they first started doing these bills, I don't know why, I just started getting body dysphoria, and I felt like about my belly and my hair and everything. I just felt really sad about myself, and I just didn't feel good with my own body. So I tried to lose weight, and it just didn't really work out. So these bills have made my life really bad, and I'm just hoping they don't. I hope we can remove these bills everywhere, and we can just live a regular life as a regular kid and don't have to always talk about politics and testify. Because doesn't every kid, wouldn't you expect a little kid, like a 10-year-old or 11-year-old, just be playing in the playground and making friends?
Exactly.
No, I have to just be testifying all day and missing school, and missing picture day, and missing all my friends, and I have to miss a big test just for everything, and it's not good.
Horrible. I hate it.
So incredibly sorry. Just please know that you are so beautiful. Your hair is beautiful. Your facial structure is beautiful. You are beautiful.
In the middle of that thing, I was about to burst out yelling like, "Girlfriend, no, you're gorgeous. Hush."
How has life been since these bills passed?
Terrible, honestly. It's hard to wake up in the morning. I've missed a whole week of school because I just don't want to leave the house. I'm afraid something might happen. And I have a lot of friends who are LGBTQ plus at my school, and I worry for them as well. So it's just sad to know that these bills are passing, and it's horrible to know that these people are on purposely hurting and harming kids because they want things to be their way.
Yeah, I can agree with that 100%.
It's not just my state bills that make me unhappy. When any kind of bill passes and I find out about it, I hate it. It's horrible. It's stupid.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask Sky how life has been since it passed. These bills passed or happened.
Well, I've been really, really lucky in Arizona to not have any bills passed that have personally affected me. But just to think about how if SB 1165 gets written into law, my trans and LGBTQ peers won't be able to play sports. And I know for a lot of people, sports is, basically the whole life. That's how they've made friends, and that's how, it's helped their mental health and stuff. And so to think that they wouldn't be able to get to experience that, it's horrible.
Terrible.
And whenever I hear like what Kai said, whenever I hear bills pass in other places, I just get like a pit in my stomach. It makes me want to throw up. I'm terrified for other kids in different states, and it was really scary, and I shouldn't have to live like this.
I completely understand.
When did you start advocating for your rights?
It feels like ever since I came out of my mother's womb, I had to advocate for my rights. I started advocating ever since I could talk, really, because I realized that my mom didn't see who I was, and I realized I had to start advocating for myself and my family. And I had to start with my siblings. In fact, I think mom is the last person I told. Because, I mean, I knew she'd get angry at me, but I thought maybe if I tell my siblings first, I'll be a bit braver, and then a bit braver, and a bit braver.
And so I think since about the age of 7, I've had to testify for my own human rights, which I shouldn't have to do. But we live in a world where people don't care what happens to other people. They're selfish and they want things to go their way. So it has been challenging to come out because in Texas, so when I first came out, it was through, well, I first came out to my parents when I was about 3, and it wasn't like me coming out, they just kind of knew. And I really don't want people to think that it was forced onto me, because it most definitely wasn't.
My
And
mom
it's not
can't
a
even make me clean my room.
what?
I said, my mom can't even make me clean my room.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't want people to think that it's a choice either, because I wouldn't choose to get discriminated against my whole life. But yeah, it was pretty hard at first. I came out over the summer. And so when I went back to school, I went back in a dress with, longer hair. And everybody, like, so I first walked into the school, everybody was staring at me. It
Who is
was,
this girl?
wait, what?
Yeah, like same thing kind of happened to me. They were like, who is this lady? Why is she here? Who is you?
It was mortifying, honestly. And so my mom pulled me out once things started to get bad. This one girl, we used to be kind of friends, like acquaintances basically. But when she found out that I was trans, she said that her brother would beat me up, and that her mom thought I was cute before I was trans, but she said now my mom thinks you're weird, you're a freak, you're disgusting, stuff like that. And so once my mom found out about that, she was like, I'm not going to make my daughter go through this, and she pulled me out.
I am sorry that you had to go through that.
Thank you.
Same.
I want other youth the same age as me to do is just to show your support and spread awareness, because I feel like not enough people are talking about how serious these bills are and how fast they're spreading. And the more people that talk about it and the more people that show their support will help get these bills to not pass.
I love that.